thousand end to receive the cup. There's nothing to beat a win at Wembley.
Black who's going to go for it. Black for the 1 point to win the grand final. From Halifax, and he's done it. Ben Black strikes.
Hello, welcome to another Talking the Facts of Life live stream. Proud to be sponsored by Clips Energy.
Clips Energy!
And Delivery. Oh, wow, that was a bit of a croaky one. My name's Mike Ake, and joining me, as always, producer, aficionado, and fan, Mr. Rick Farrell. How are you doing? And join us all, shall we say, you guys watching at home. Thank you very much for joining us, as always. Get your thoughts in, get your comments in. A defeat to Featherstone, it was kind of expected, if you will. Let us know what you thought. Were you there? Were you one of the people that stayed away? If you went, what did you guys think? Great atmosphere. If you could see the game because of the stupid netting behind the posts, let us know what you guys think. We'll be talking, obviously, the Featherstone game. We're looking forward to the Whitehaven game. We may have a quick discussion about the Hall of Fame if we've got a bit of time tonight. But let's get straight into that Featherstone game, shall we? A few of you guys watching, let us know what the crack is. First and foremost, heavy defeat. I said to you in the car on the way that we'd get beat by 40, so I was nearly right, but...
Miserable bastard.
Yeah. Like I said last week, and like we sung at the Cribs on Friday night, I'm a realist. But yes, unfortunately, my prediction came true, and it was a frustrating game, really, because we had so many opportunities to go back into the game, but wrong bounce of the ball, freaky bounces off crossbars, people having nightmare moments and stuff. It was just one of those things where I think the games where we've rode our luck, you could say, it'd just be one of those where we just write it off as a bad job and that sort of thing. Let us know, get your comments in, let us know what you guys thought. First and foremost, what did you think, Rick?
Well, I'm going to take your Cribs analogy. I'm going to see your Daft Punk. I just think they were harder, better, faster, stronger, sadly, on the day. They rolled us up the middle a bit too much, I think. You know, they were making 70 metres on every field. You know, we chucked the ball around early. Yeah. We had a lot of joy. You know, Worthington were busting him on the left, and I don't know, he put a fending on someone, and it were like man on boy, wasn't it? But we just didn't have that little bit of extra cutting edge that we needed. And yeah, we scored some good points, but we just could not hold up in defence and keep clean. And you have to get everything right, and it was just quite the opposite, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, they were clinical. They were when they had chances, they took them near enough. They had a couple of times where they didn't. Gareth Gale dropped the ball over the line again. Brett Ferris dropped the ball over the line. We had chances as well. That's the thing. We had chances, but I like you had a bit of a stronger analogy. They just seemed a lot fresher. They were a lot fresher. They looked like they read both Worthington and McComb in the centres. Had some joy. McComb took his try really nicely. I thought Woodburn all wherever he got his hands on the ball, we're doing really well. But yeah, it was a deserved beating, and you just got to hold your hands up and say they were the better side on the day. They've been the better side all season. Them and Toulouse are just a class apart from us. But we scored 22 points, and that I don't think there's many teams that have gone to Featherstone and scored 22 points this year. So that is a little bit of feather in our cap. And we were trying to force the pass, but again, when you're trying to get back into the game after the freakiest of try conceding, and then ultimately that's what wrecked the game for me. The game's all about momentum, as we keep saying on this show. And when McComb scored his try, the crowd was up, the players were up, we were proper onto it, and then an absolute belter of a kick-off like he did all day from Craig Hall. Robinson never looked confident under it. He picked the ball backwards, hit the bar, he caught it.
Hit him in his forehead, didn't it?
Yeah, and then they scored for it. And that just completely took all the wind out of our sails. And we never really recovered from that, really. We had a played on a peach of a try for Garside, as you've seen from the highlights. And there are some positive signs there as well. As I say, it's just what Simon Griggs has got a really tough job is keeping bodies fresh, having that balance of, we need to train and we need to have some sort of combat in training, but also rest some really weary bodies because A, Featherstone is such a physical side, but B, it was so hot as well.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned Woody as well. He laid one on the plate for Garstead. He also bombed one on his inside for Scott Griggs that at the time would have put us in a really good position, just one saw down. And then the problem that we had again was the momentum swings were instantaneous, where they would literally... It was a balmy game of rugby league, wasn't it? It was there was one where I think Craig Hall got on the outside of Woody and he just had to put the ball down and he blew it. And I just couldn't believe some of the stuff that were happening. It was very bizarre. Just before we carry on, are we live? Are we loud and clear, everyone? We look to be getting a bit of interference on the signal. I don't know why. We've got full internet signal, but just give us a comment. Let us know you can hear us, see us, everything's working. It's not cutting in and out.
Yeah, there seems to be plenty of comments coming through, and no one saying that we're talking bollocks just yet. So that's always a positive. But I completely agree with you there. It's someone throwing ball around. We didn't need to throw a ball around and stuff like that. But we'll learn from it. It's a learning curve, and like we have been against Featherstone in the past, but it's all right. It's all fair and well losing league games. We can win the games that matter, and I think we'll be in a much better position. Hopefully, we'll learn from that from when the playoffs come round if we do meet them again. But my biggest fear is that they'll learn, and they just seem to be in a very, very good position there. But the main thing is that we've had a go. We've had a dig. We've tried his art out. It's not come off. We've got it's a defeat. What is it? Second defeat in 13 or something daft. Like or third defeat in 13. It's one of those really. It's just that we've got two absolutely huge games coming up to make sure that what we've gone through the last couple of months rings true and that we do finish in third and with the kind of advantage going into the business end of the season there. Shall we get into these comments?
Yeah, go for it.
So let's get into that. Again, thank you very much everyone who's watching. Get involved. Let us know if you were there, what you thought. If you weren't there, what you thought from the highlights and all that sort of stuff there. Anthony Hildred, again, regular. Thank you very much for joining us, Anthony. Played down the middle and used their hands. Yeah, and groundman was a certain word. I don't know what you mean by that, but Featherstone, they've got a big pack of forwards, and we'll get onto the elephant in the room in Gadwin Springer. I thought they used him well, and again, it's one of those. Simon Griggs likes to use his players in a certain way. Featherstone must use them a different way. I'm quite a big believer in you. If you've got a player, you kind of play to his strengths. If you do need to accommodate him, and he played all right, did Springer. And yes, he's going to be tired after a little bit, but what he did, he laid on a brilliant offload for John Davis to break up, who got there. He scored a try himself, I think. No. Did not score. He got close. He set the position, but
he set up 2 tries.
Yeah,
but he did more in that game yesterday than did in 10 for us. So,
yeah, exactly.
It was the classic case of an ex-Fax player coming back instantly to bite us on the backside. Yeah. So. But I think he had flaws in his game. Like you said, he only played for like 15 minutes. He was blowing it a bit, and his defence were a bit lacking, wasn't it? But he was good going forward.
We had so many opportunities to attack him in defence, like on lazy inside shoulder, but we just didn't see it. We just seemed to be going through process for the sake of process sometimes, anyway. But as I say, we were getting joy out of it sometimes, but we'll learn from it, and I'm sure that they'll have video reviews and that sort of thing there. Yeah. Peter Wood, thanks for joining us again, Pete. The away support was great. Negatives, a few cheap tries. Positives, we looked dangerous on the attack. McComb is coming along nicely. Yeah. Definitely. He just looks dangerous every time he touches the ball as McComb. And
natural rugby player.
Yeah, his step is brilliant, and he's so deceptively strong. He's kind of like Salt in the way that he makes yards after contact. He kind of goes in and then makes another 2, 3, 4, 5 yards.
His balance is what impresses me. I think there was one time when he sort of spun out of a tackle, and normally you'd see lads go down, but he managed to stay on his feet and keep going. And so there was a point as well where you mentioned about Barber sort of trying a clever pass between the legs, and there were no one there. But that kick through that he did for himself, where he sort of grubbed and it popped up.
Yeah.
On any other day, that's a try. It just didn't go for us yesterday. But just to sort of tangent off that, and like you say, we can learn, but they can learn. There are flaws in their game. Yeah, they're a good side, but there are flaws in their game that we can exploit with a fully fit and fully ready to go team in a nothing to lose playoff game. So hopefully we do go back there in the semi. It'll be on Sky, but hopefully the fans will turn out for a big game there, because it was a really good atmosphere. No bother, everyone were in good spirits. The weather was brilliant, and it's a decent setup over there. So I hope if anyone went to Feb for the first time in a long time yesterday, I hope you've sort of had your sort of thoughts calmed about what goes on over there, and you can get over there in the future and support our lads. It's all about supporting our lads at the end of the day.
Exactly. I couldn't put it better myself there. James Marsden, thanks for joining us again, Jim. He's agreeing with McComb. Yeah. He's amazing at the moment. What a guy.
Absolutely.
Yep. He's definitely the form player for Halifax at the moment. Even Saltonstall.
Mike's busy mate from Lewins.
Yeah, it's easy to say. I had a chat with him, and one thing is for certain, which you can see from him on the field, he loves playing for Halifax. He absolutely loves playing for Halifax, and you can see his passion on the field. And that's what we love to see as fans. We love to see players having that passion to play for the club, and it also helps that he's a very talented rugby player as well, who's in the form of his career at the moment, and long may that continue. Good evening, Nathan Field. Good evening, chaps. I thought we were outplayed by the better team. Yep. Having to lose far too good for the rest of the league. I think we have done well to make the playoffs, so let's be thankful for that. Yep. We need some perspective on that. I think one 3, 4, possibly 5 games in, we're third bottom in the league, and people were punching above us weight. We're third in the league. We've got nowhere near the third highest playing budget in terms of like wage structure and all that sort of stuff. We are punching along with Batley and Whitehaven. We are doing extremely well. But I completely agree there, Nathan. We've done incredibly well to get Haven and Batley to really go into the playoffs on a full head of steam there, really. Jane Fairbank, thanks for joining us, Jane. She agrees with everyone, it seems. McComb was my man of the match for facts. Yep, completely agree.
I think
with
the
that.
only other one that sort of challenged him, I thought Garside had a really good game yesterday. I thought he showed up really across the board, didn't we?
I will shout out James Woodburn-Hall as well. I thought he had a good game at half-back as well. He looked dangerous every time. It was kind of more like the Woodburn-Hall that we're used to, really, kind of using that footwork and deceptive strength that he's got, and it was causing him all sorts of problems. And again, it broke through in the first half. A better choice, we would have scored in that set. It's just one of those, really. But there are some encouraging signs there as well, really. Sam Beavers, thanks for joining us, Sam. He thinks Salty needs a crack at Super League. Well, he's certainly good enough for Super League.
He's got a good job and all that. That comes back to the age-old, will he make the money in Super League to justify giving up his job with his young family and that? I don't think so. But yeah, it's fair enough. Like you say, he's good enough to do it. It'd suit maybe a Wakefield type of team. But
yeah, he's certainly a very much a Super League style player in terms of what the modern wingers like, and maybe he does have that burning ambition to play for Super League. But we shall see. One thing for sure, he's definitely an Halifax player right here, right now, and he's having the season of his career, it seems, right now. Yeah, Antihilda, the ball boy wanted a kiss. Well, I'll leave that to all your imaginations. Jane Fairback come back saying, look, few players looked on their knees and giving silly mistakes away. Yeah, we are walking wounded at the moment. There's lots of players who are playing through the pain barrier at the moment for the lads. And yeah, when you're playing against if Featherstone aren't full time, they must be very, very close to full time. But also with the size of player that they've got, it's very, very hard.
There's always something that goes wrong when we do this. I just don't understand it all. I think I need a new computer, but times are hard. I've got all that couple of grand to throw at one at the minute, I'm afraid. Yeah. So make the best of a bad situation.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll plough on. We'll see how we get along. Anthony Hilbert says ref was poor, linesman as well. I thought a couple of their tries were forward passes at the very, very least. But you could say so. We had an element of luck there as well. It's just one of those. Referees can't be perfect. You just got to rise above it and play them again. There. We are back apparently. We seem to be back. We're having a bit of connection issues at the moment. Well, yeah, we'll see how we go. Yeah. It wouldn't be a live stream without any sort of technical glitch or issues or anything like that. Oh god, again. Oh dear. Right, so
Right, we've tried something else. Are we still online? Can you give us a like on the video or a comment to say yes or no? Can you still see us, hear us? Is it still streaming? Is the first question, and then we'll carry on.
You're on, back again. Yes, we're on. Right, lovely. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, right. So if we're a little bit delayed in terms of questions and stuff, it's because we're having to do a little bit differently. We have to just do things on our publishing program rather than through Facebook, which may well be the way to go going forward, to be honest with you. Yeah. So, James, you've got lots of things to say that we're on. What did you think? What are your thoughts there? Have you got a burning question for us this week? We'd like to know. While we're having a bit of a segue from that, let's segue from Featherstone a little bit. Let's focus on the Hall of Fame, because I've put stuff on our socials in terms of, and we mentioned it a bit last week about the Hall of Fame. Now, we've had a bit of chats for the last couple of weeks about like the players who should be in the Hall of Fame, and like the last player who went into the Hall of Fame, quite rightly, was actually there yesterday.
Yeah, he was there yesterday.
Kyle Harrison, Kyle Harrison, Rhino. Forget what he did for us as a coach, although he won Northern Rail Cup. One thing is indisputable: he was a fantastic player, leader, and captain for us, and quite rightly, he is in the Halifax Hall of Fame. But he was the last person last player to be in the Hall of Fame, which I think is quite baffling, to be honest. Absolutely scandalous. And I will say right here, right now, and I'm not being biased here because he's my all-time Halifax hero. No, John Bentley.
Oh, you're going to say John? I thought you were going to say superstar Dave Larder.
Well, I said when Dave Larder goes, and it's going to be a brand new god tier in terms of Hall of Fame. You got the normal mortal Hall of Fame, and then Dave Larder goes in the god tier. So that's for another day. But if Kyle Harrison's in there, John Bentley has to be in there. He was an absolute star for us. He played international rugby for us. He played in the 1995 World Cup while playing for Halifax. He played for Great Britain as well. He played for the Lions when he was a bit of a sabbatical on there, scoring one of the greatest tries the Lions have ever seen. He was just a brilliant player, but also as well, he was a character. He was an absolute character. And I know there's quite a few young folk that do watch this podcast. Unfortunately, I'm getting on the old spectrum on that. But if John Bentley played today, he would be an absolute fan's favourite. He was a fan's favourite then. He would just electrify that South Stand like he did the scratching shed back in the day. And he scored try after try. He was quite a modern winger in that respect. He was a big lad. He was strong. He could carry some players, but he was just box office. He had that X factor, didn't he?
Well, he never sort of. We've had wingers in the Super League era where the aim is sort of like to clear your lines and get, sort of a bit of a salty edge forward, drag a few men in and try and get a quick play of the ball. He weren't thinking of that. Every time he got that ball, he was like, I'm going length at field.
I'm going to score.
It's your job to stop me.
Yeah.
And players like that are a dying breed, sadly, it seems. So, I do agree with you on that. My argument about this whole Hall of Fame thing was the sort of system and the structure of how it gets selected and everything needs to be addressed, because like you say, Rhino was the last one to go in. He's getting on in his age now. We've not really utilised him as a sort of fax celebrity, so to speak.
No.
He's not really done events, and obviously maybe it's because he got soured because of the coaching. I was going to say scandal, but it was pretty scandalous the way we played under him. But, we leave it too late for me. There's no point inducting someone when they're an old man 20 years, 30 years, 40 years after they've been a star. Why not utilise them, get them in there, and use them to sell your club to the general public? This is a walking, talking, living Hall of Fame member of our club.
Yeah.
Send them to the junior clubs. This is what you want to aspire to be, playing for your hometown club. It just baffles me, and it's a dinosaur way of thinking. It's too old. It's old fashioned. Oh, we'll wait in time. Oh, you have to wait 10 years. Why?
Yeah.
Why? I mean, fair enough. I think we had the sort of argument that they should be retired.
Yes.
But for me, like, the day Tyra retires, he should go in. The day Morel retires, he should go in. All the guys that are already retired, they should be already in.
Yeah.
Why are we waiting around?
No,
my argument.
I completely agree. And John Bentley is the ambassador for the Supporters Trust.
Yeah.
Why not get him in the Hall of Fame, get him in there, make a big song and dance about it, and bring the good times back, bring the good feeling back. Yes, we are looking forward under the Panthers' name, but it's always good to look back as well. We need to remember where we've come from in order to move forward as well. And to remember where we've come from is to celebrate the players that we've had, the players who performed amazingly in the blue and white shirt. And John Bentley was certainly one of those. And Kevin Keegan love it if he got into the Hall of Fame, and he deserves it. He should be in there now. What are your guys' thoughts? Do you have any other names in there? You've mentioned Morel and Tyra, and their time will definitely come.
I think I put Moana in there myself for the Super League era. He's one of those lads that's come and stayed in Halifax and made a big impact. What by definition, what is the Hall of Fame? I've heard the arguments like, oh, well, you can't compare this lad's achievements who played a couple of Super League seasons to a guy that back in 1904 played multiple internationals and won all these trophies. Yeah, you can't compare him, but Hall of Fame, famous, they're remembered for something.
Yeah.
There ain't a person that's involved with Halifax Blue Sox as it was then that don't know who Martin Moana is.
No, yeah,
He's a famous
right.
member of the club.
The example,
multiple stints. And
the example I've made is Mick Scott. Now, Mick Scott is, forgive me if I'm wrong, I don't think he got any representative honours. I don't think he was anywhere near England or Great Britain International. But in terms of a club legend, he is up there. He was absolutely brilliant. Is he a better player than perhaps Martin Moana in that respect there? I don't know. Two different kind of players.
I don't think you can compare him though.
No, you
Mick
can't.
Scott won championships and Challenge Cups.
Yes, he did. But does that mean that anyone who played in the championship, in the second level, like let's say a Shad Royston, for instance, who he never played for us in Super League, always second level in championship, but his try scoring record was absolutely amazing. I think the prerequisite for a Hall of Fame player is they were a standout player and a standout personality for Halifax Rugby League Football Club, wherever that level was.
Yeah, I agree there, but I think they have to have been with the club, played a minimum amount of games for the club as well. I think that needs to be a prerequisite.
Yeah,
you can have someone.
True.
Oh, we had a guy that came in and scored 12 tries in 3 games on dual reg. You're going to put him in? Are you friggers like? So.
Yeah. No, true. I get that. We have got some stuff going
in.
Yep,
get him up. We'll see.
Yep. Nathan Field agrees with me in terms of Bentos. Sean Rothery said he agrees that the try score for the British Lions is one of the best. Gavin Parkinson says Greg Austin. Yeah, slightly before my time was Greg Austin, but try scoring machine, that point scoring machine. He's kicked goals as well. Yeah. Again, was he here enough? Did he play enough games to warrant being in the Hall of Fame? I'm not too sure.
But he's one of those names that always comes up when you talk about the old days at Thrumall and stuff. Everyone always brings these names up. They're the names that need to go into your Hall of Fame.
Yeah. John Schuster, Nathan Field says great shout.
100%. Just for that drop goal at Odsall.
Yeah,
and that interception.
Arguably the best ever goal kicker we've had in terms of just metronomic points.
What about Mick Nanning?
Mick Nanning, yeah.
Best goal kicker that never kicked a goal for facts.
We've had some left field choices. Mick Nanning, Dane Nerinks. Yeah, NCCU, yeah. James Marsden said, what about the Grix brothers? They both should be Hall of Fame in the future.
Depends what Simon does. I'd put Scott in for the try against York at Widnes.
Yeah.
Because again, it's famous moments. If you're telling a story of the history of Halifax Rugby League through the centuries, can you do it without Scott Grix scoring that try? You can't, because we'd have gone down, we might have gone bust, we might have gone out of existence. Great shout.
One other player he's got to be in the conversation in terms of moments is Benny Black.
Yeah.
Ben Black.
Absolutely.
Played for us 2 different spells.
Yeah.
He could say that he was the catalyst of us being able to survive in 2004, because if he didn't come over, we'd have been dead and buried. We wouldn't have even got to that final against York. And then obviously, as you hear every single week, he dropped the goal to win that game against Featherstone, that final against Featherstone. But yes, it is one of those. Yeah, I didn't see your comment, James Marsden. I must admit, but yes, with great minds think alike. That's what I'll say on that. David Graham's come up. Bentley, Preston, Austin, Schuster, legends.
Yep.
Mark Preston. Yep.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. Straight away, they name the same, and those pop up over and over and over.
Fans
Get him in the Hall of
age.
Fame. Stop piss-arsing about. Let's move on and let's use them to promote our club.
We hear him every single week. Austin's going to score. Tyra does it. Black drops the goal.
There's a reason why those names are in there, because they've had massive moments of impact on our rugby league club. I'd put a name in, but again, it's a bit of a contentious one, and this is why we have these debate shows. Jamie Bloom.
I was good. Yeah, I've said that. Blew me for sure.
Obviously, he had his controversy. I don't know if you've read his book. It's supposed to be really good, but he had his what do you call it? PED steroids.
Yeah, that's where he got back again with Doncaster. Yeah,
you know. So do you put him in there?
And he also bit Lee Breers as well. But it's what he did in the Halifax shirt.
Exactly.
What he did in the Halifax shirt. He came and played for us in '98. Was part of that team in '98. Played with us for years afterwards. Left for a year to go to Huddersfield when we had to fire sale players. Came back in 2004 to captain the side. Kicked 3 goals from the touchline in that final against York. Played on, and I agree with.
And he's still involved in the local area with Greetland all-rounders as well. So again, he's stuck around. He's giving back to the local rugby league community of Calderdale. So I've got one for you. What about Clinchy?
You would say that, wouldn't
you? I know I would say that, but you're talking
Yeah.
about a player that came. He didn't play many games. Played one season and a bit, and then came back again for a second spell. Was arguably, in my opinion, if it weren't for Yeston Harris, man of steel that year.
Yeah.
We were one game away, really, from a grand final. We should have been there.
X Factor player.
You know
as well.
what I mean? Again, if you talk to a certain generation of Fax fans, that name crops up over and over again.
One thing I will say, that there's loads of comments coming in. So
get onto the comments.
It's absolutely great. One thing I will say, though, because it's quite timely as well, I'll put this name in, Rob Warrensey. Rob Warrensey, he just announced his retirement.
Oh, you're saying that? I put it in our group chat the other day. You were like, "Oh no, not Rob Warrensey, not yet." No.
Well, we're having a debate. We are having a debate here. He's part of the conversation.
You
for
bloody
sure.
turncoat.
I just think is, in my personal humble opinion, is not right now, but he's part of the conversation for sure. And we need to work out what a criteria is.
This is what I was saying, not just the criteria, but how you do it. Like, I'm going to bring it back. You don't like it? Starts on Thursday. The NFL, the way they do it with their Hall of Fame, they have a ballot, and anyone you can nominate any player. You put it to a ballot, and you've got first ballot, they get taken, and then the next year, the ones that weren't taken get added to the next year's ballot on first, and it goes on and on and on until. So someone like Rob Warrensey might be on the ballot every year for 10 years. Before eventually getting on, but he will get on eventually. But again, do we leave it up to the fans? Do we run some kind of club membership scheme where people pay a membership fee every year and get a vote? Or do you just go the classic modern way and put it online, and then you leave it up to ending up with voting at both face, and all that sort of stuff. So. What do you guys think? Do you agree with that? Ballots or
Linda Kitson wants to. Can anyone tell them what the actual criteria is for the Hall of Fame? We don't know. It seems to be a closely guarded secret.
I just think it's like whoever's the chairman of the club at that time decides to do it. It sounds to me they don't want to buy more picture frames. We haven't got enough room on that wall in the.
We need to. Whenever you go to McDonald's at Asda, we need to know who's in there. Really. There's some great minds thinking alike. I was going to come on to this player as well. Nathan Field, my darling mother, have thrown in Damien Gibson.
Again?
Yeah. One of the absolute
this is
stalwart.
where the ballot thing would come in. Would you put Gibson in over Schuster? Probably not. But once Schuster and Preston and Bentley are all in, you get to that name, you'd be like, would you put Gibson in over Warrensey? You probably would. So this is where that ballot thing would come into it, and I think that's why I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, completely. And talking to Gibbo, absolute stalwart of the club. How we managed to sign him from Leeds? He was their Player of the Year in '97, and we managed to sign him. Arguably one of the fullbacks in the competition in '98. Stayed through the CVA debacle of '99 and stayed a long time, and then he was another one who left when he had to, because we had to sell him. Went a couple of years elsewhere in Castleford and Salford. Came back to us and played again, and he served with his distinction. And then he's still in the area. He's doing he does a lot of work with the foundation and other stuff like that. So I think it's a great one there.
Yeah, it puts a lot of money into the local economy of pubs and bars as
and
well.
And plus, I would say that because he's bought me pints in Halifax on many occasions. So yes, yes, that's one criteria. If you've bought me a pint in Halifax or Toulouse, you're in the Hall of Fame. Well, maybe we need to create a Talking the Facts of Life Hall of Fame. There we go. Dave Larder, top tier. God tier.
Gav Clinch straight away.
Yeah. Dwayne Tetley.
Conor Robinson.
Dwayne Tetley is, thanks for watching, Dwayne. He said Andrew Duneman. Now, I think in my lifetime, I think Andrew Duneman is the most talented, best player that Halifax have had. But he didn't play that many games. Oh, he actually did quite. Yeah, 99, 2001, 2002.
A lot of seasons, yeah.
And then he showed his class by going to Leeds. Again, when we had to sell him.
I don't think he wanted to leave either.
No. He went and won a grand final at Leeds, and he was a pivotal player in that team. So
I'm sure it was Duneman where we were away at the Boulevard. I think he'd landed in the country on like the Thursday night, and it were a Friday night game, and he weren't going to play him. I think he just put him on the bench because we had nobody else and sort of acclimate him, and I think we were 24-0 down. Someone might be able to put me right about this, but we were 24-0 down at half-time. We were on Sky, and he thought, we can't do any worse. We'll stick bloody Duneman on. And he got man at match. I think we scored 50 points in the second half going downhill at Boulevard and absolutely murdered him on telly.
It was one of those players where he was probably too good for the team. We were around, he was making all these runs and stuff, and players were like going, huh? What are you doing? Yeah, exactly. Linda Kitson saw Gibbo this morning. Well, when you next see him, Linda, tell him that he's going to be part of the Talking Facts of Life Hall of Fame. But yeah, these are the debates here. We just need to gain a little bit of traction to get this going, because I think it's scandalous that after 20 years, Kyle Harrison left in 1998, end of 98 season, and to say that there's not been a player since from either that era or since not in the Hall of Fame is scandalous. It's absolutely scandalous, and we need to rectify that. So hopefully, people who are watching this will be able to get in touch with the club or spread the word yourselves, get the conversation happening. But yeah, let's see if David Graham makes a good point about Matt Preston. Again, he was my first favourite Halifax player was Mark Preston, because he was just Speedy Gonzalez, and he makes a good point. The buzz when Preston got the ball, Thrumall's roof came off. He was just a classic winger. He was just pace to burn, arguably faster than Martin Fire at the time, and he just scored so many tries like that. But did he play that many games? He was one of the victims of Super League going full time, because he had a very, very good job and he wanted to play part time. Yeah, for a long time. So, but yeah, an absolute classic player, and definitely one of the that everyone harps on about quite rightly about the back line of Bentley, Preston, Austin. Schuster came in to replace Austin, but Hallis was in that team as well. But yeah, loads and loads of players there. I think that's enough of those there. We will come back to James's point. Never saw you answer the last question I asked, and it's a debate that me and my dad actually had while watching the Magic Weekend this weekend. Which, by the way, 2 phenomenal games on Saturday night.
Is this the question about
the Halifax
best
players?
Halifax
Name your current
players
who are from Halifax or played junior rugby in Halifax. We will get to it. We will do this
We
week.
don't want to spunk us lot in the. We've still got games to talk about, Jim. We're going to do all that sort of stuff in the off season, pal.
Yeah. So. Well, we've actually got rugby to talk about.
Hey, you can come on. You come on, Jim, and you tell us your team, pal. And we'll do a proper podcast.
Yeah, that's the very good point. Linda Kitson's coming back. Dunham played 74 games for us, apparently. She'd go for Preston again. Fan favourite with Preston because it was electric. It was pace, and again, what the older time players have over the newer ones are the pitches. The pitches that they played on. They played winter rugby, awful bobbly pitches, heavy duty balls, all that sort of carry on.
But what they had going for them is they didn't have the wrestling of rugby league. They didn't have a man grabbing hold of the ball, literally, and then one man round the knees and one man round the top. They were able to get these offloads away to Bentley, to Preston, who could then go the length of the field and put someone away or whatever it was. So I don't think that's why it's hard to compare. And how do you compare the guys of the 80s to the great teams of the 50s and 60s? And how do you compare the 50s and 60s guys to the guys at the turn?
My grandparents
It's
said
got to be, like I said, for me, sorry to interrupt you there, the thing has got to be, can you tell the story of the history of Halifax Rugby League Football Club / Halifax Panthers / Halifax Blue Sox without ex-player's name in there?
Yep, exactly.
And if the answer is no, then they must be in the Hall of Fame.
Yep. Oh, true. Yeah, my grandfather especially maintained that if Stan Keelty and Ken Dean were playing now, and the nutrition and the stuff that they would be absolute world beaters. So, they were to have bloody Halifax 6 and 7 playing for Britain at the time, it was ridiculous, and they maintained that if they were playing these days, it's like the age-old question in football: Messi and Ronaldo are better than Pele and Bobby Charlton, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it's completely it's horse for the courses. But like I said before, the only comparison you can make, the only thing you can say is that the main criteria of Hall of Fame is, did that person give their best for Halifax at the time that they were playing in that blue and white shirt? Forget about comparing.
I'm not sure about
stuff.
give your best.
No, sorry, I'll rephrase that. The effect that they had. Did they win leagues, win championship, win over the fans? Were the fans' favourites? Because you could say like Adam Tangata could be one that could be in the future there. Mitch Carlane. Those kind of players who come over and had a big impact.
But then you've also
team.
going like I think Will Sharp played over 150 games. Yep. Jono played 150 games. Ben Kay.
Yep. Oh yeah, true. Yeah,
I mean, so.
You could put every single player that's played for Halifax in the Hall of Fame, if you will. But
apart from what was that guy we got from France called?
Oh.
Walid Bregba.
Yeah, Walid Bregba. Yeah, he could be in a Hall of Shame with Dane Nerrinks.
Again, James here.
CCU.
James come back. Darryl
Cardis. Yeah, again, pace to burn, scoring one of the best Halifax tries I've ever seen against Leeds in 2000.
But this is where I come unstuck with my argument about, can you tell the story of Halifax without this player? What about Richard Smith scoring against Australia?
Yep.
Does
true.
Richard Smith go into the Hall of Fame?
Well, John Bentley scored against Australia, and if you look quite closely when he scores, I'm there.
Can you see you? And
you can see a young little white-haired chap who was
with his blue and white knitted scarf.
For a brief period he was shorter than his sister. Very brief period. And
this is it. This is why we have this debate, Sean. We hope you guys have enjoyed debating it. I think it's something that we need to move it into the future, discussing and really sort of get kicking on now. There's no point, like I say, wasting any more time. Let's get on with it. Let's get some inductees in.
Yes.
And don't forget, we can then go to the Rugby League press. We can go to the local press and have something to say. Look, we've just inducted 3 new members voted by our fans and sponsors and local businesses into our Hall of Fame. By the way, we've also got games coming up, blah, 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 blah.
Yep, exactly. Linda Kitson makes a point. Mark Preston played all the match, scored umpteen tries, and never had a hair out of place. That's why his nickname was Bond, because he was like James Bond. He was just absolute suave, and he
was also an assassin.
Maybe Gibbo's name should have been Bond, because he got all our ladies. Nathan Field comes up with a very, very good question. Can I propose a different question? The most underrated player who's played for Fax. We will save that for another time. Like we say, we've got lots of good ideas here.
Take some thinking that.
Yeah. And James Marsden comes with another fullback, Mike Yamanga.
Yeah, exactly. See, this is it as well. An All Black.
Yep. All Black Western Samoa player. You are right in what you're saying. The first player to score 5 tries in a Super League game. Yeah, and he held that record for quite a while as well.
Who broke it?
Vinny Colo equalled it.
Yeah.
And then someone score 6?
I think so.
Someone might have scored 6, but I think he may well still have it. I don't know. Let us know if in that case. But yeah, Mike Yamanga, brilliant player. Again, like when we could go out and sign bloody all blacks at the time, and he was great, and he was a character as well. The hairstyles that he had.
But again, this is why we should put it to the fans and not do it in dark, smoky back rooms.
Yeah.
Because look at the names that get thrown out that we haven't put out ourselves. So
if you leave it to a committee, there's always going to be people who say, "Well, that he shouldn't be in there." If you give it to the fans, and
it was my friend because he used to babysit my daughter at what do you call it, Weavers or whatever, So
Or
Anyway.
if we did it, I'd be saying, right, he bought me a pint at
That's
Melting
it, yeah.
Pot. He bought me a pint in Edison's.
Wasn't paid for his food at Keith last week, so he's first one.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, one of the prerequisites must be that they're retired, because that's one of the things there that we should do. So Mitch Carlin very much could be an he's retired there as well. So we shall see on that one. How long have we been on?
Should we move on?
We'll move on. Let's move on a little bit. But thank you.
Like I said, we've got a game.
We've got a game this weekend.
Important game.
Yeah, and we could see players who could be future Hall of Fame staking their claim if we get a result up in Whitehaven this week. And Whitehaven, surprise package of the league, they came up and were very much a lot of people's tipped to finish down
as well.
Yeah.
We didn't think they'd win a game.
Yeah, well, I almost say win a game, but I didn't think finish bottom. But yeah, they've done remarkably well. Got a couple of ex-Halifax players in the signing, Chris Taylor and Liam Cooper. Yeah, and anytime, don't matter where Whitehaven are in which league, going up to Whitehaven is a hard game. It's a hard trip. They never make it easy, and we've not got a great record going up there, really. But it's going to be an absolute cracker of a game.
Remember, which was the season where we went up there and we were so convinced we were going to beat them, and we ended up drawing, and I think it either cost us or nearly cost us the playoffs. When Gaz Moore scored a try with like the last 10 seconds of the game to level it up, and I think it might have been 2016. Was that when we had the black and purple kit?
Yes.
Yeah, 2016. Yeah. So that game ended up costing us a place in the playoffs, and obviously that's not going to be the case this year. But you're right, it's a tough place to play rugby. Is Cumbria.
I just remember being 19-2 up at half time in the Northern Rail semi, and being convinced that we were getting there, and then they came. Carl Seiss came and destroyed us. Carl Seiss and Gary Broadbent were playing at the time. They absolutely destroyed us in the second half, and they ended up beating us 20 points to 19, I think it was. And yeah, that was a sickener. But yeah, you're absolutely right. It's so hard to play up there. Peter Woods got with a really good point. Did the players travel on the day or the night before? That is a conundrum that we've gone through loads. That there's been times where we've stayed over. There's times where we've gone up on the day.
I would assume on the day with the COVID BS.
Yeah,
that they having to deal with hotels and everything that would come along with that. I'd assume they'd just travel there and back in a day.
Yeah. But I know for a fact they have tried lots of different things. They've stayed over. They've even stayed 2 nights sometimes. They've gone up on the day. They've gone up on the day, got changed in a lay-by or something, or a service station, and got to the game to play straight away. They've tried all sorts of stuff. There's no right or wrong way, but
have they ever flown?
Planes, trains, and automobiles, is it? But yeah, it's one thing that they do have. I don't think it's changed. The really small changing rooms they've got up there, which aren't very hospitable for away players.
It's not a ground from this century, is it? I'm absolutely dreading having to do my media in stuff that might be the old 2-pronged plug system, you know. But
yeah,
it doesn't matter. It's what happens on the field, isn't it? So
yeah, true. James has come back to us. Leslie Van de Colo, 6 tries v Hull in 2005. Calling him a boy without a father. But yes.
I don't know why you're self-regulating.
We are a family show. We're a family show.
There is not one young person under 18 watching this podcast. Do not kid yourself, Michael.
Hey, well, we shall see. I'm in good faith that everyone who watches this shares this with the kids, and they watch it round the dinner table. It's like, let's get together and watch these two talk absolute rubbish. Here, look at these kids. These are people you shouldn't like.
The men will come and the men will talk your ears off about stuff you don't care about.
Yeah, true. But going back to Whitehaven, they've got some X Factor players, and Lachlan Walmsley is definitely one of them. He's the guy that jumps about 20 foot in the air to score in corner, doesn't he? And he's got absolute bags of pace. He's definitely one to look out for. And then, as I say, Liam Cooper. I was gutted that we didn't keep Liam Cooper. I thought he was a great player for us, but he's gone on to pastures new and doing really well by all accounts. What do you reckon? What do you reckon this week?
It's a tough one, isn't it? Because I mean, whereas a few weeks ago we were the team that everyone were talking about on this massive winning run and all that, Haven are the ones now with something to play for. They've got the local pride at stake. They're obviously going to hear a bit of stick from the other Cumbrians because Barrow got promoted on.
They did, yep. Congratulations
last night,
to them.
So congratulations to them guys. But yeah, they're on a run of form. They've won, I think it's like 8 in a row or something like that. the last game they lost was against us, so they'll be itching to put it right.
Yeah.
We've got some busted bodies after Fev. But one thing is certain, we have to win this game.
Yeah.
We cannot afford to be inviting Batley in on the last day of the season and losing that third spot, which gets us, 1, a home playoff, and 2, avoids a potential playoff draw with Toulouse until the £1 million game potentially. So.
And again, it's that word again, momentum. We need to start building momentum towards the playoffs, and if we do that against Avon and Batley as well, then we're going into the playoffs with a wet sail, and hopefully we do that. Nick Barber has come and written a paragraph. Here we go. Let's be honest, lads. If someone had said you're third going into the last 2 games, I would have bit your hand off. I can't see us getting a result on Sunday as the squad is on its knees with injuries. As for Springer, he was always going to do the business, and just a shame we couldn't get the best out of him. Let's hope we can get as high as possible and do the season justice. Here. Very much so. You obviously missed the start of the show, Nick.
Yeah, where we said all this rubber ducky, man.
Yeah, exactly. It's been having too much fun in the bath, it seems. But yeah, it's one of the, we're in a position where it's all in our hands. It's all ours to play for. If we win 2 games, it's academic. It doesn't matter what the other teams do. We just need to focus on ourselves and do the job.
The tricky thing really is that it's that Bradford game, isn't it? Because Bradford and Sheffield, it sounds like Sheffield are going to refuse to play that game. So them not playing could end up doing them a favour in the points win percentage. So, God, it's going to take some working out, isn't it? That last day of the season, we could all be, never mind on your phone checking the scores, we could have the calculators out with the formulas and that. But
if we win our games, done that make it academic, I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters what.
But like Nick's just said, that it's not a given that we'll go to Whitehaven and win on Sunday.
No.
There's some disruption as well. I don't know if anyone's planning on driving up there. There's some roadworks and a few road closures on the way into Whitehaven, so make sure you're checking up on your sat navs and your travel updates, because we don't want you to get stuck in traffic and end up missing the game.
Definitely not. Nathan Field's come back. I feel we look tired against Fev. Whitehaven maybe a bridge too far. Our squad size, unfortunately, is catching up with us. Alas, with no money, we're going to struggle. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from against Fev. One thing is for sure, Whitehaven are nowhere near as good as Fev. I don't think they're anywhere near as big and strong as Fev. So that could work in our favour. I think, and like I said before, we had a good goal against them. We scored some points, and I don't think Avon's defence, I don't think is as good as Featherstone's either. So I'm encouraged. I'm really encouraged. It's one thing I know from supporting Halifax for far too long, is that when the back's against the wall, when the chips are down and when we're against us, that's where we, as Halifax, we play well.
It's
a
unexpected. Total battle of the underdogs as well, isn't it? Because like I said, we kind of predicted and we'll hold our hands up and say we were wrong. That, well, I don't know if you did, but I certainly didn't think they'd even win a game with the squad that they had on paper. So for them to get on this winning run and be the surprise package, I hope that they don't beat us, but they nick it on the last day of the season and they come to the share and we'll have a rematch and see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see, because they're desperate. They're wanting there's a very thin hair between them.
I believe it's literally last chance. So they have to beat us on Sunday to have any chance. If they lose, that's their season over. So that's it's a cup final for them. And
I thought them in London were
bodies that we've got.
I thought them in London were kind of the same points really. So
not 100% sure. I believe that they've put something out on their Facebook page basically saying 2 games must win.
Yeah. Well, again, if they win 2 games, then they're there. That's what they're thinking. If we win our 2 games, we're third. From where I can think. Please let us know if we're talking rubbish here. I'm fairly certain if we win our 2 games, it don't matter what anyone else does, because one of them's Batley. So we're obviously going to take points against, but they're points. It's just Bradford that's going to be the downfall of us. But again, If it is, don't we still get a home game if we play 4th?
I think we get a home game if we play 4th. It would just be a case of if we did win that home game against whoever it may be, we would then have to go to France, which is something that we all want to avoid, like the plague, even if it is on Sky TV. We all want to avoid the hassle of having to go over there. So with a team that is head and shoulders above everyone else in the hunt for promotion. But we'll deal with the players when we get to it. Like you said, 2 massive games coming up for them, equally as big for us on Sunday. We have to win. Let's win, get points on the board, and then we can sort of try and rotate the squad a little bit and rest up. I mean, there's some... Who have we got in the squad that could play that hasn't played? We've got Sean Jones, who seems to be the forgotten man
Ben
Israel.
Tibbs, yeah.
Ben Tibbs could probably come in and do a job for us.
Yeah.
Apart from that, we haven't got anyone.
Connor Davis should be back after HIA.
Yeah.
Elliot Morris should be back
Yeah.
because he was COVID affected as well. So hopefully those guys are nice and fresh. They can come in this week and replace possibly some battered bodies there. It's just one of those, but it's the same for all teams at the moment. There's plenty of teams who are playing with battered bodies and injuries and all that sort of stuff. We've just got to roll with the punches. Really, we've done remarkably well up to this point. With the exception of Connor Robinson, majorly injury free. There's
and
a lot
COVID free as well. We haven't had to postpone a game for COVID.
No, we haven't.
reasons,
And like you said previously, that could end up being our downfall, actually playing every bloody week. But we shall see the integrity of the league and the game. We are very much in favour of. But yeah.
I'll tell you one thing though, a lot of people have been saying it over the last couple of weeks that third is a successful season for us, and then if we can get into the playoffs and win a playoff game, it's building on where we were from last year or the year before, I should say. But what's been nice to see is the fans with some real perspective after a big defeat against Fev, and some people might have expected it. Myself, I honestly thought we'd give them a much closer game. But to see people have the perspective of, look, we know we're busted. It's a good season for us. And it's not a case of just accepting mediocrity or whatever some might call it. It's a case of knowing where we're at. And as well, with Toulouse in the league this year, you don't go all hell for leather this year. Next year's the year you want to do it. So we just try and get a little bit better every year. And if we can improve year on year, we can go all out for it next year.
Yeah, that's what Peter Wood said. James Marsden said that Harris is to come back as well, hopefully. You'd have thought, so yeah, hopefully that's the case. Peter Wood agrees with you. I think we have the money, but I feel the board are planning for next season with Keys and Matty G in the pipeline. So yeah, anyone who watched the Magic Weekend yesterday will have seen an absolutely brilliant performance by Joe Keys. And Stuart Pike did mention that he's on his way to Halifax, and if you believe what you read in the papers with a certain Matt Shaw, then it could be the case.
It's the problem for this year, isn't it? Like we've said, week after week, who is there out there that we can go and get to bolster our squad? Yeah. Are they going to be better than what we've already got, even if they are busted and a bit bruised? They're not. If they don't improve us, they're going to have to learn a whole new system from scratch and the defensive calls and get to know the lads. Or you might take a lad on loan, pay his wages, that you might not get in the team for 6 weeks. So yeah, for me, we've done remarkably well. If we finish third, which I think we deserve, I think we've been the third best team in the league this year.
Yeah, I agree.
We've beaten everyone that matters. I think
the table is you're only getting out in this game what you deserve, and you'll hear coaches and that. I think the table is fairly accurate. I've said all along, right from the word go, that Batley are a really good side. When they beat us in the cup, everyone's like, "Oh, it's only Batley," and I had comment after comment saying, "Oh, you're talking rubbish, Mike." And 99% of the time, you're absolutely right. But from what I saw from that Batley team that beat us in that first night, I knew they were a decent side, and it's come to pass. They are a really good, and they are quite right. Like if they're not already in the playoffs, then they're near enough there. And they very much deserve it, and they've been one of the best sides we've played this year, both home, but both home in the cup, but also away as well. That game could have gone either way at Mount Pleasant. Obviously, Toulouse, Featherstone look after themselves. Bradford, we've had two absolute bell ringers against them. Whitehaven, they're facing in our purple, but we were in our purple patch. Managed to get through that game.
London's an enigma, innit? Because we absolutely smoked them. But how long ago does that seem now?
Yeah,
it seems like a years since.
Yeah, and it's lucky that we haven't played them away, because I think they might have fancied their chances down there really. And obviously Widnes, they talk about enigmas. Widnes. They beat us comfortably, and they go up to Whitehaven. Granted, they only had 16 men and get absolutely thrashed.
That's this year as well. Like we get beat by Oldham. We beat Widnes by a drop goal, but then Widnes go put 60 on Oldham, and then we beat whoever, Batley, and then Batley go and absolutely smoke London or whatever. So it's just very, very bizarre. But like I say, it's the best division of rugby league in this country for me. I wouldn't have it any other way. Watching those Cass and Wigan games where they're just driving into each other 5 times, or you watch every week on the Our League app, you're looking at Try of the Week. There's 4 or 5 from the Championship and 1 from Super League every week. So that tells you everything you need to know. I think that might change this weekend for Magic. But again, Super League's got to have a showpiece event to actually get some decent rugby played, whereas we get it every single week in the Championship.
So, we'll wind up with a few of these comments. Peter Wood said, if Huddersfield don't make the playoffs, is Hewitt eligible for return? Short answer, no. Long answer, no.
Not just that, he's banned as well, isn't he now? So he got banned for use of the elbow.
Yeah,
so.
he did. That's the same thing with...
it's a full-time... We can only take players that are earning under 20 grand a year, which you're looking at kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Fringe players.
Yeah, Hewitt, Russell, Borough... They're not coming back, unfortunately. And Pete he said again, shame about Borough too, who has had hardly played for Wigan and possibly might not play again till next season. Seems a waste for him too. And I think that's exactly why he's moving to Salford.
But if you're Richard Marshall, do you want him playing in playoffs for Fax and getting injured, and then you've spent all this money and investment
on... But I'll tell you what, Richard Marshall, he's got one player on it hands. And Richard Marshall coming to Roosevelt for his old club. When the announcement came, he said he's watched a lot of Amir Borough this season for Halifax. And
does Richard Marshall go in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah. Yeah, are there coaches that are in the Hall of Fame? Obviously, Chris Anderson was a player coach, but
that was a tandem. You don't have to jump on everything.
Yeah,
I was just joking.
No. But yeah, it's free and easy podcast. There's no kind of flow to it.
Phoenix Club, free and easy now.
Yes, definitely. But yeah. But Borough's going to be absolutely fantastic for Salford next year, and he's got the right coach and right atmosphere there. Last one from Nick Barber. What I admire about White Avens, they have a good coach, built a squad on a budget, and just proves money doesn't buy a team. But they've done very well with recruitment from overseas. Let's stay positive, lads, and look forward to moving forward next year with this club. Anything can happen in the playoffs, and it's cup football, and that's when facts normally come to the fore.
That's it. That's the spirit, Barbs.
Definitely. I cannot agree with that anymore. And what a way to finish. Positive rugby league, positive Halifax, positive all the way around. Hopefully there's no positives in terms of COVID tests going forward, but yeah, that's the only negative we want in this life, in this world, in this rugby league planet. But yeah, thank you very much for joining us, everyone. We've got a good number again. Apologies for the for the internet issue, but again, it won't be a Talking Facts of Life live stream without any sort of technical hitches. Thank you all for watching. Thank you, Rick, as always. Thanks to Eclipse Energy and Delivery, as always. And from myself, thank you very much for watching. And as always, up the Facts Panthers!